Okay, good morning and welcome to the House Judiciary Committee. It's it's not January anymore. It's February the 16th. No, it's not. This says its voting list is on Thursday the 16th. Nothing is going well so far. Friday the 17th, 2023, a little before noon. We have a number of bills that we're going to vote on. This is the first time we've had a voting session inside the Judiciary Committee in person in what feels like forever. And it's the first time in this legislative session that we've had a voting session. So we're going to try and do this deliberately and not rush unnecessarily. Just so that everybody understands the rules of the road, the vote sessions are going to take place in person. You cannot vote virtually. You have to be here. We're not going to record any votes from any delegate before the voting session begins or after the voting session concludes. If you can't attend the vote session, notify Dylan or Denise at the front desk. If we receive this notice, you'll be marked as excused on the vote sheets. If we don't receive notice, you'll be marked as absent on the vote sheets. During the roll call votes, you cannot pass your vote. You need to, unless you have a reason for which you are you have a conflict that prevents you from voting on that particular issue. You've got to provide a vote when your name is called. The votes generally will start with the vice chair, followed by ranking member Munoz, and then be called in a counterclockwise loop around the horseshoe. However, I have the discretion to change the roll call order for any vote. Quorum's required to have a vote session. We have a quorum here today. For those who are present during the vote sessions, a majority vote. There are 23 members of the committee, so 12 is the magic number. Is required to vote to pass a bill favorably or favorably with amendments. If there's an unfavorable motion, again, the bill effectively dies. A tied vote does not pass a bill. So if for whatever reason we have an even number in the room, a tied vote does not pass the bill. You have to have at least one more. The chair typically does not vote, but however I can vote at my discretion and to break a tie. Every member is afforded the opportunity to hold a bill, one bill, only once. They can hold a single bill at one time during the 90-day legislative session. In other words, once you use your hold, that's it. You don't get another hold on any other bills for the rest of the session. That bill will be held until the next vote session. That next vote session could be in 5 days, 5 minutes, 5 weeks, hard to say. 5 months, 5 years. Voting on amendments, we will ask broadly that an amendment should be delivered to the committee, to committee council within 12 hours of consideration by the committee. Obviously, this voting session came a little faster. We're going to try and give you more time to let you know what bills are out there in advance so that you can meet that deadline. This is a continuation from the 21 and 22 session. The co-sponsor rule. This is also a continuation from the 2021 and 2022 sessions. Some bills pass without amendments. If they're passing without amendments, we're not adding on co-sponsors. If someone adds on an amendment and people wish to be added onto the bill as a co-sponsor, I will entertain that. But I'm not going to do it unless we're already adding some other amendment on because it adds work to committee staff. Dylan says, I voted stickers will not be provided to members at the conclusion of our vote sessions, which seems harsh. I know, and for that, I blame Dylan. All right, the first thing we're going to do, there are 3 bills that people have sought to have withdrawn. So the committee has to vote to allow those bills to be withdrawn. So what will happen is I'll ask for a motion. Usually the vice chair will make a motion for an unfavorable because the bill is withdrawn. Then I will not call a roll call usually. I will just ask for a oral yeas and nays and move on. If you feel like you have to vote against the unfavorable withdrawn for whatever reason, you'll have your chance. I just won't do a roll call when that happens. Okay, so let's try this once. Are we ready? Yes.
To be clear on what you just said, if you make a motion for a unfavorable and a person wants to vote favorable, then they can vote favorable, but you won't make a roll call vote? Suppose they make a motion for the roll call vote.
Because the vote is to withdraw the bill. The sponsor is withdrawing the bill.
The sponsor's withdrawing the bill, I understand that. Then why
If the committee would like me to call a roll call vote for every withdrawn bill, I'm more than happy to do that.
I didn't ask you that, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm asking if an individual would like to have was requesting a roll call vote on to withdraw a bill. So the bill is being challenged on being withdrawn, and they get a second. Will you call a roll call? Or
I will call a roll call vote if that's what you would like.
Yes.
For a bill that is being withdrawn by the sponsor.
Yeah. I was just wondering if that was the rules.
That's fine.
I want to be clear. Thank you.
All right, we're going to start with House Bill 167. This bill has been requested to have been withdrawn by the sponsor, Delegate Grammer. Could I have a motion, please? There's a motion for an unfavorable as the bill is being withdrawn. All in favor of the withdrawal, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried and the bill is withdrawn. Delegate Simpson is withdrawing House Bill 170. Delegate Simpson has put in the appropriate paperwork. Is there a motion? There's a motion for an unfavorable and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. All right. House Bill 1218, Delegate Tomlinson has requested that the bill be withdrawn. Could I have a motion? There's a motion for an unfavorable and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Wait, you didn't request to withdraw the bill. You did request to withdraw the bill.
I was just about to say. Railroading.
Great.
Fire drill.
This is going so well. So far, we're all right. Doing fine. Okay. So now, we are on House Bill 126. This is legislation that went through the Criminal Law Subcommittee. Could I ask the Vice Chair to describe what the bill does as amended?
It's not amended.
Isn't it? Is it not amended? Oh, I'm sorry. I just have that marked wrong on my sheet. That's my fault. So the Criminal Law Subcommittee reviewed the bill, and they are recommending that it move favorable. Is that correct?
Unanimously.
All right. Is there a motion on the bill? Is a motion for a favorable. Is there a second? All right. Is there any discussion on the bill, on House Bill 126? Seeing none, we will call a roll call. The Vice Chair.
Yes.
Delegate Munoz.
Yes.
Delegate Crutchfield.
Yes.
Delegate Cardin.
Yes.
Delegate Bartlett.
Yes.
Delegate Embry.
Yes.
Delegate Pasteur.
Yes.
Delegate Tolles.
Yes.
Delegate Schmidt.
Yes.
Delegate Simmons.
Yes.
Delegate Boucher.
Yes.
Delegate Phillips.
Yes.
Delegate Tomlinson.
Yes.
Delegate Erican.
Yes.
Delegate Taylor.
Yes.
Delegate Simpson. Delegate Grammer.
Yes.
Delegate Young. Delegate Valentine.
Yes.
Delegate Conaway. Delegate Kaufman.
Yes.
Delegate Williams.
Yes.
All right. See how easy that was? 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 22. Okay. 1. House Bill 66, Delegate Bartlett's bill that also went to the Criminal Subcommittee. Mr. Vice Chair, did I? Oh, so House Bill 212, oops. Delegate Crosby's bill went to the Criminal Subcommittee. What did the Criminal Subcommittee recommend? A unanimous favorable. There's a motion for a favorable and a second. Is there further discussion on House Bill 212? Okay. Seeing none. The Vice Chair?
Yes.
Delegate Munoz? Delegate Crutchfield? Cardin? Bartlett? Embry? Pestier? Tolles? Sorry? Schmidt? Simmons? Boucher? Phillips? Tomlinson? Erican? Taylor? Simpson? Grammer? Young? Valentine? Conaway? Kaufman? Williams? 22. All right. Now we'll go to House Bill 66. Delegate Bartlett's bill that did not go to a subcommittee. Is there a motion on the bill? All right, there's a motion for a favorable. Is there a second? And a second. All right. This is the bill that raises the fee from okay, 10 to 30? 10 to 30? All right. Okay. Is there discussion on the bill? We did that already, I think, didn't we? We moved favorable and said, all right, we did it again. That's good. Got this covered. Is there further discussion on the bill? Great. Bill is allegedly. All right. We'll call the roll. The Vice Chair, Munoz, Crutchfield, Cardin, Bartlett, Embry, Pestier, Tolles, Schmidt, Simmons, Boucher, Phillips, Tomlinson, Erican, Taylor, Simpson, Grammer, Young, Valentine, Conaway, Kaufman, Williams, 22. Okay. House Bill 159, Delegate Attar's bill. It's a motion for a favorable. Is there a second? And a second. Is there discussion on House Bill 159? It did. Any further discussion, any discussion at all on House Bill 159? All right. Hearing none. The Vice Chair, Munoz, Crutchfield, Cardin, Bartlett, Embry, Pestier, Tolles, Schmidt, Simmons, Boucher, okay. Phillips, Tomlinson, Erican, Taylor, Simpson, Grammer, Young, Valentine, Conaway, Kaufman, Williams, 19 to 3. Congratulate Delegate Bouchard for casting the first no vote. We a card laid in committee. Once you're changing your vote, you voted yes. That's it. We don't let people change votes after we go through. All right. So a card laid is card played on the committee thing. You can do it on the floor, but here we don't let you do that. All right. 174, right? Yes. Which is not this one, or this one, or this one. Yes. My recollection was that we didn't let people pass. No, that's right. We didn't let people pass. But if you would like to change your vote and it doesn't change the outcome, then we'll let you do that. So, Delegate, do you want to change your vote? All right. So you're changing your vote from yes to no, right? On 159, that's 18 to 4 now. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Sold. All right. Now, Delegate Moon. Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing the folder for 174. So we're going to skip 174 for now, because they're going to go find it. Maybe we lost it. Who can say? Don't take it personally. All right, we're going to the vice chair's. It's okay. House Bill 207. This went to the Civil Subcommittee. There are amendments. Could we hear what the amendments do, please? Turn on your microphone so everybody can hear.
Mr. Chair, House Bill 207 did pass the committee. There were two amendments. The first amendment includes and details that a recreational facility also includes gymnasiums and swimming pools, and a recreational facility does not include a unit of state or local government that leases land or facilities to a recreational facility. That was the MACO amendment to make sure that MACO was not held liable for the tenants that use their facilities. Is that correct, Mr. Vice Chair?
Mr. Vice Chair gives a symbol of approval.
Yeah. The second amendment says that this section may not be interpreted to affect, extend, or limit the liability of a governmental entity for a tort or other claims subject to the title. This is again to make sure that MACO that this does not in any way increase or reduce the limitations from the Tort Claims Act. Is that correct? Okay, good.
Also,
I got it right. I'm learning because I got to make sure I know this for later.
Okay. Is there a motion on the amendments? Motion and a second to move the amendments. All right. Is there a discussion on the amendments? All right. So now we have these amendments that have to be approved or not, but we're going to do discussion first. Delegate Tolles, did you have a question about the amendments? Then ask your question about the amendments.
Okay, clarification, Mr. Chair. If we wanted to be added on as a co-sponsor and we do have amendments, do we have to seek permission from the bill sponsor?
You don't have to seek permission from the bill sponsor. This is a bill because there will be amendments added to it where if you want to add on as a sponsor, as a co-sponsor, you can. All the other bills didn't have amendments added on.
No, I know. I was just clarifying, just to make sure. This was the first time we were doing it. I just wanted to clarify.
You're good.
If
So are there people who are interested in being added on as an, oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry,
All right,
Mr. Chair.
You're good. You're good. It's fine. This is why we're doing it this way. So this is what we'll do. If you want to be added on as a co-sponsor, I'm going to go around the room to my right and go around in a circle, and I'm just going to do that. I see Cardin, if you want to be added as a co-sponsor, Tolles, Phillips, Erican, Simpson, Grammer, and Kaufman and Williams. And Buckle? Mr. He's got to be on the committee. We can't. We're not going to do that. With respect to the minority leader, keeping it just among friends. All right, here in the committee. Okay, I thought you'd enjoy it. All right, so here we go. So with that added amendment, we have a motion again on the amendments, including the co-sponsor amendment. There's a motion on the amendments. Is there a second? All right. All in favor of the amendments, all we do here is we usually do a show of hands. All in favor of the amendments, raise your hands. Anybody opposed? Okay, the amendments are adopted. We're on the bill as amended. There's a motion is for a favorable and a second. Any further discussion? Good time. All right. The Vice Chair, Munoz, Crutchfield, Cardin, Bartlett, Embry, Pasteur, Tolles, Schmidt, Simmons, Boucher, Phillips, Tomlinson, Erican, Taylor, Simpson, Grammer, Young, Valentine, Conaway, Kaufman, Williams, 22. All right. Don't give him a hard time today. All right. Leaving this here for you. Okay, now, what I found when I looked a little closer was House Bill 174. She's not even paying attention now. I found, because I paid closer attention, House Bill 174. I don't know. Do we want to consider voting on House Bill 174? Really? And a second? I guess we have to have discussion on this then. Is there discussion on House Bill 174? Really? No one? Delegate Erican?
Mike's working yet,
There
but
we go.
I will say I voted against the version last year, but there's been edits to it, and the opposition has withdrawn their opposition, so I'll be green this time.
Okay. All right. If there's a motion and a second, I guess I have to call the roll call then. The Vice Chair.
Yes.
Delegate Munoz. Delegate Crutchfield. Delegate Cardin. Delegate Bartlett. Delegate Embry. Delegate Pasteur. Delegate Tolles. Delegate Schmidt. Delegate Simmons. Delegate Boucher. Delegate Phillips. Delegate Tomlinson. People should begin to pay attention for the next couple names. Delegate Erican. Delegate Taylor. Delegate Grammer. Delegate Young. Delegate Young. Delegate Valentine. Delegate Conaway. Delegate Kaufman. We're not done yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Delegate Williams.
You know, I've been thinking a lot. I guess I will vote.
Delegate Simpson. 22. Does anyone want to change their vote now? All right, I'm just checking. Did you just say it sounded like she got electrocuted? Is that what he said? My God, that is wrong. Now I can't find the folder again. Oh, you moved it over here. All right. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, it's over here again. All right. Fine. We'll figure it out. Okay. I'll get to this in a minute. Delegates Polakovich-Carr's bill, House Bill 215, went to the Civil Subcommittee. Mr. Subcommittee Chair, what happened? Okay. Is there a motion on the bill? Is there a second? All right. Is there discussion on the bill? Delegate Erican, go ahead.
I just thought there was some tightening of the language that we could do so that we could protect the people we were trying to protect, and so that landlords still maintained the right to evict people if they needed to, because they had become a nuisance to the community. So in speaking with the subcommittee chair, I think we're going to try and do some work on the Senate side just to see if we can tighten it up. But I'll still be a no on this version of it, but hopefully once it makes the carousel ride that it usually goes on, I'll eventually be able to move to favorable.
Delegate Valentine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too have a two-part concern with this bill from personal knowledge, or from personal experience as well as professional experience. One, as a former landlord, I did include some of these provisions in some of my leasing for years ago, and it had nothing to do with whether or not someone could or couldn't call the police. But having a rental property at the time in a townhouse subdivision, a lot of times in knowing that community, I would receive a lot of feedback from neighbors to my rental property for police responses to residents. So that was one part of the concern for me in this bill. And I think in my lease, it was something along the lines of multiple times over a given year. It wasn't a single call. And I would certainly look at every call on its merits. That was one component. The second component regarding the local jurisdictions, having worked in a municipality that did have a local ordinance about these type of concerns, we called it a disorderly house type of ordinance. And it was basically for problem residents where we would consistently go to these houses, these rental properties, for large gatherings, a lot of problems that we would have some element of enforcement on the property owner, and then in turn did go down to the tenant. So those were my two concerns with it. Hopefully if there would be any type of amendments to maybe shore up some of that, but I will be a no as well.
Delegate Card?
So I totally understand your concerns, but this is about the people who are calling the police, not necessarily the people that the police are reacting to. So you shouldn't be able to evict somebody for calling the police. Maybe if the police are responding to a certain house because that house is a problem house, that might be the area that you want to focus on for other legislation, but that's not what this legislation is about. And that was my concern. I just wanted to just raise that as something that we did discuss in subcommittee.
Delegate Aircan?
So, yeah, I think that we're in agreement on that piece. My concern is page 3, line 1, penalizes the tenant for the actions of another individual solely because the individual summoned the assistance of law enforcement. So that would pertain not just to the tenant summoning for themselves, because that is referenced line 29 on page 2, the person calling for themselves. The third page, line 1 through 3, I think does indicate that there would no longer be an ability to include anything for a third party to call in and complain. So a neighbor complaining, I think that piece would sort of eliminate the ability. So hopefully we can find a way to sort of, obviously we want neighbors to be able to call for DV. But if somebody's continually getting called for drugs or loud parties, et cetera, we do want tenants to be able to maintain the quality of the community. And so that's really where my concern comes in. So I'm just hoping that, once it goes through the merry-go-round, we can tighten the language to make sure that people that are truly being a nuisance to a community can be evicted if necessary.
Yes, with all due respect and admiration to my Republican colleagues that have spoken, I will be voting an enthusiastic yes on this piece of legislation because it not only applies to 911 calls for police, but also emergency services. And I know that in the past, in the final 3 months of his life, 911 was called for my brother who was a quadriplegic numerous times. And I just really think that this bill is going to, Delegate Plagovich-Carr's bill is going to be very beneficial for the disability community, and that landlords should not be able to penalize people with serious health conditions. So I will be voting green.
Okay. Yeah, so we had, I think, a very good discussion in subcommittee on this bill, and I think one aspect that I just want to repeat here from that conversation is that on page 3, line 2 of the bill, the word solely sticks out. That the bill would say you can't penalize them solely because they summoned law enforcement. And so in the scenario that you're describing where there's drugs or some nuisance party going on, it wouldn't be the 911 call that's the issue. It would be that other thing, the drugs or the party. So they would absolutely have the right to terminate a lease for that other action. The word solely really gets at the call itself not being the issue. And I just want to flag again my reasons for liking this bill is that I think it's really bad policy to threaten people's housing for summoning public safety assistance, emergency assistance. The domestic violence situation obviously comes to mind. Folks with behavioral health issues and other challenges are going to be put in a similar situation. And again, if there's a crime or some other thing, it's absolutely already protected. It's just the 911 call should not be the issue. So I hope folks feel comfortable voting for this, that we're not doing what I think folks are fearing here.
Is there further discussion? Delegate Erican.
I hear you. I think we're actually agreeing on 99.9% of this. But a lot of times the police are called and charges are not made and there's no convictions. And so I wonder if we get to a court and a judge says, well, the police were called, but there was no conviction. There was not even any charges. And so that information is no longer included in the process of eviction. And so now the person is relying solely on the fact that the police continue to be called despite the fact that charges are not filed. So I know there's a way for us to get to the point where we've got the perfect bill. It definitely exists. I just don't think we're here yet.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we have a motion and for a favorable and a second. The Vice Chair.
Yes.
Delegate Munoz. Delegate Crutchfield. Cardin. Bartlett. Embry. Pasteur. Tolles. Schmidt. Simmons. Boucher. Phillips. Tomlinson. Erican. Taylor. Simpson. Grammer. Young. Valentine. Conaway. Kaufman. Williams. Right. Okay. 15. 7. Now we're going to Delegate Terras's legislation, House Bill 244. House Bill 244 went to the Civil Subcommittee. And what happened, Mr. Subcommittee Chair? All right. It's a motion for a favorable and a second. Any discussion on the favorable motion for House Bill 244? Delegate Conaway.
Question, Mr. Chair, do I have to excuse myself?
Why? The sister is the Register of Wills. I don't think that you personally benefit from whether people are able to sign or not. Having said that, you probably, if you feel like you should, then you should. I'm not the right person to ask.
You've already beat me up once.
No, I know. I apologize for that. I don't think there's any kind of personal impact that you wouldn't personally benefit by whether or not people were able. Yeah. I don't think your sister would either. Delegate Young.
I have a similar circumstance with another bill, and what they told me was when the bill is statewide like this and it's not focused specifically on the one office, then you're good.
Yeah.
But so I think you might be fine on this instance.
Should be. You want to be excused. All right. All right, that's fine. There's a favorable and a second. Is there just further discussion? Is there seeing none? The Vice Chair.
Yes.
Delegate Munoz. Crutchfield. Cardin. Bartlett. Be nice. It's a legitimate question. Okay, whatever. Delegate Embry. Pasteur. Tolles. Schmidt. Simmons. Boucher. Phillips. Tomlinson. Erican. Taylor. Simpson. Grammer. Young. Valentine. Delegate Conaway is excused. Kaufman. Williams. All right, 21. Bless you. Now we have Delegate Bartlett, who has a bill. And this is the Safe Harbor Bill. Did not go to subcommittee. I don't believe there are any amendments. Is that correct? There are no amendments. All right. Is there a motion? Motion for a favorable. Is there a second? Got it. Discussion on House Bill 297. 297, sorry. Any discussion? Seeing none, the Vice Chair. Munoz. Crutchfield. Cardin. Bartlett. Embry. Pasteur. Tolles. Schmidt. Simmons. Boucher. Phillips. Tomlinson. Arakan. Taylor. Simpson. Grammer. Young. Valentine. Conaway. Kaufman. Williams. Chair votes aye. 23. And now another bill we'll have to have long and detailed conversations about. Very long, detailed. There does not appear to be any amendments to House Bill 483 as introduced by Delegate Simmons. There's a motion for a favorable and a second, though. Very fast motion for a favorable. Are there lengthy and prolonged discussions on for the favor? Delegate Bartlett first, and then Delegate Williams, and then Delegate Card.
Yes, I have long and lengthy, prolonged discussion on this particular bill. Well, since he called on the Lord, I guess I don't anymore.
All right. Since he called on the Lord, Delegate Williams.
You know what? I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I can't. I don't compete with God. So,
Delegate Cardin. Well, we finally found.
Like UMBC has a huge swimming pool, and they sometimes put dinghies in the swimming pool. And I have known them to actually put motors on the back of those dinghies in the swimming pool. I am wondering if this is going to apply to the UMBC dinghy swimming pool.
Lord have mercy, if they're drunk.
Does someone want to respond to that question, or can I go to Delegate Munoz?
No further questions.
Thank you, Delegate Munoz.
Thank you,
And then Delegate Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank the sponsor for bringing this bill. It truly has affected me to this day, and as long as I live, an accident caused by what you are going to fix with your bill. So I thank you very much, sir.
Delegate Schmidt.
Delegate Simmons, thank you for bringing this bill. I was at the Maryland game last night, and in jubilation, there was some crowd surfing going on. Would that apply to this bill? And they may or not have been drinking soda or alcohol.
That would be NASA.
Okay.
Yeah. Aerospace engineering.
All right. Thank you, Delegate.
Okay. Is everyone done now? All right, that sounds good. Seeing no further discussion, great. The Vice Chair. Munoz. Crutchfield. Cardin. Bartlett. Embry. Pasteur. Tolles. Schmidt. Boucher. Phillips. Tomlinson. Arakan. Taylor. Simpson. Grammer. Young. Valentine. Conaway. Kaufman. Williams. We will be thinking about you a great deal over the weeks to come. But would you like to vote on your bill? Delegate Simmons.
For yes, vote yes on the bill, and I would just like to extend my thanks to everyone as I step away from my duties here to have double bypass heart surgery. I would definitely know that y'all are keeping me in your prayers, and I thank y'all. I've learned a lot in the little time I've been here, and I look forward to returning to this body.
Bill moves favorable with 22. All right, that concludes the vote list for today. I would expect a vote session probably next Friday. These will start to get a little longer as we go through session. But I thank you everyone for your attention here today, and for now we are adjourned. Thanks. Two subcommittees. Family law and juvenile law.